So let's start our coverage with an inspiring story of the power of creativity. Amir Kassaei is the worldwide creative director of the massive agency network DDB. Its South African operation, by the way, taking high honor here at Cannes with its work on McDonald's. Kassaei is a former child soldier in Iran. He smokes like all madmen do and has strong views on the power of an idea and the importance of connecting with real people. Amir Kassaei, a very warm welcome to Mags on Media. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me start with a quote from Campaign magazine, if I can. You've been quoted as saying that you are the inventor of the creative revolution. Explain that to me.
I think they were not relating it to my person, but they were relating it to the tradition and the history of DDB. Because if you look back in the history of advertising, DDB was the inventor of the creative revolution back in the 50s and the 60s. And because of that fact, we have a special responsibility, which means that we have to live up against this bar and this expectation and leading the industry towards the new age.
There's so much fragmentation in media right now. Is it a different type of creative revolution that we actually need?
I think we at DDB have a very, very clear insight about where the world is, how the world is changing, how the industry is changing. And we believe that we are entering a new age because of three facts. The first thing is, if you look at the history of internet and where the digital revolution is going, we will live in a world where everything will be connected. And because of that fact, a lot of things will change. That's one thing. The second thing is, because of the crisis, we believe that it's not a financial crisis alone, it's a system crisis. So we have to reinvent the system of capitalism towards more quality and less quantity. And the third thing is that the people are starting to question about what are the real values and the real most important thing in life. And if you put together these three trends, we are entering a new age, which we call at DDB the age of the brand networks. And we believe that if you want to be a successful brand in the future, you have to deliver a substantial and relevant promise, on not only a promise, but an experience on every relevant touch point in your network.
So how does creativity differ now from years back when things were a little easier, when they were a little bigger?
What we are doing at DDB is educating our people in not thinking in categories. Our job is solving business problems. And if you solve a business problems, by doing that, you are not differentiating in categories. You're trying to use technology as a tool and using the media landscape as a playground to find the best solution. But we are not thinking in categories.
But Amir Kassaei, clients still think in categories, don't they?
Yeah, I think our responsibility as an agency, and I think the industry has the special responsibilities to educate our clients, to inform them about the changes of the world, and to give them a very, very clear understanding of what is going on and what they should take care of. And that's a responsibility that we have as an agency. Our purpose was always about using our talent to shape the society and changing the world for the better. We have a very, very great DNA and a very, very great kind of a cultural common sense to build around that.
Those are very noble intentions that you've just outlined, but surely advertising can't change humanity.
Yes and no, because I think the question is how you are defining our role. If you're defining our role in being and pushing products and services to the market, you're right. But if you're defining our role of one of the few industries who have a very, very amazing talent or combination of human insight, the talent of solving problems and understanding technology as a tool, we can do more than only pushing markets. That's our core belief.
I think another aspect to this whole conversation is getting advertising agencies and their people out of their ivory towers to meet real people.
One of the biggest mistakes was happening in our industry in the last 30 to 40 years was that we were confusing the world of advertising with the real world, because there was no connection and no real understanding about the substantial worries and the needs of the people. And we at DDB were always believing that you have to not treat people as customers and target groups, but as great friends. And if you want to treat them as great friends, you have to understand their living. I'm living in New York, in Berlin, in Amsterdam, London and Shanghai. If I'm living in New York, I'm taking the metro, the B line from Brooklyn to Manhattan. I don't have a driving license. Also, I'm working for car companies since 20 years. I could afford to drive with a driver, but I'm not doing it because of one only fact, which is I have to be very close to real life to understand what the real people are thinking about, what the real people are going through, because if you don't understand that, you are not doing your job right.
So to what extent then is your worldview influenced by your upbringing in Iran?
I think it is because if you look at my background, I think it's the toughest and the best school in life because it always reminds you about the substantial things in life. And it's how shall I say it? The nice thing about me is I'm completely independent. You know why? Because I shouldn't be alive sitting in front of you. So I can risk everything every day, my job. Because I was never interested in money, I was never interested in making a career or having a great title. And that's a great thing because you're completely independent. You can risk everything every day. Because I know I can feed my family by cleaning toilets every day in the upcoming year and survive. Because I did it. And that's a huge difference because a lot of people in the advertising industry, their only fear is losing their status quo, and I don't have that. That's maybe the reason that Keith Reinhardt told me I'm the last madman. Yeah, I am.